Yippee! You do sound soft, though, so feel free to get closer if you wish.
Oh, perfect, because I do love to scream.
There you go. Hello and welcome to ParkTalk with Alicia and Naynay. My name is Alicia and joining me is, of course, Naynay!
Hello, dear!
It feels like it's been forever. Only it's been a month, but it feels like it's been forever.
I know. I can never, remember when we record because I feel like we talk almost every single day. So I'm like, has it been forever? I feel like I was just talking to you.
Yes, we talk, but we should record all of our conversations.
Oh, God, we'd be getting in a lot of trouble.
That's true. The reason we're here today is I asked you what you thought of Universal Fan Fest Nights 2026 at Universal Studios Hollywood, and you went twice, right?
I did. I went twice. I went, I think I went, did I go 3 times last year? I think I went 2 or 3 times last year, and I went twice this year. And The event feels pretty different compared to last year, so I'm really excited to get into it.
Yeah, so I'm very curious because this is something I've been jealous of, or at least last year I should say I was jealous of, and I was like, they need to bring it here. And this year I haven't really heard much hubbub about it, so I'm wondering why.
Yeah. It definitely did seem like last year the main shaboom was Destination Hill Valley, which was the Back to the Future experience, and that did not return this year. It definitely proved to be extremely popular with the guests, and it was so successful, but I heard rumblings that it did not work with production. Like, production was like, get the hell out of here. We do not want...
And that's got to be like the main income source for this theme park area. Like, you can't... Sorry, theme park people, we are a working movie studio first and foremost, I guess.
No, you're 100% right. And
Okay.
I even say that to people visiting from Orlando. I'm like, if you're going to come to our park and you're going to compare it to Orlando, you're already setting yourself up for failure. We are a working, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 movie studio first. Not even 9 to 5. I mean, they do overnight shoots there all the time.
I think people just assume it's only Universal movies. I think that's the misconception.
No.
Is that this is a backlot that is being rented out by all sorts of productions from, even Disney rents this out. It's crazy how much use it gets used.
Oh, yeah. Disney, music videos, everything and anything that you could possibly imagine gets shot here. And there's always just been this wonky relationship between the movie studio and the theme park, of the theme park just wanting to overstep and take as much space as possible, but then the movie studio really being like, all right, guys, let's settle down. This is a working movie studio first. So I heard that it just was a nightmare last year. That's why we don't do HHN down there anymore either, because we used to do HHN down in the back lot, and it was just chaos. And so now they don't extend it back there anymore because it really interferes with production. So this year they really mixed it up and tried to do some new stuff. We lost Star Trek because it wasn't that popular last year, even though I really enjoyed it.
It didn't resonate the way that, Back to the Future did.
Absolutely. We got a couple new shows, and then the main premiere attraction feels like it's supposed to be this Universal Monsters Scooby-Doo collaboration, which I cannot wait to get into because I have much to say.
I thought the main draw was One Piece based on advertising. And it might just be that that's a property that's not necessarily what I think of as a big draw, but it has its crowd. Plus, it actually has a decent show because they just stole it from Japan.
One Piece was probably the most crowded and most popular thing there, so I think that you're right. In my head, okay. I just can't think that a show is the main e-ticket experience here.
No, just having the name on the poster is what I mean. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
It's a big draw. It's like when Stranger Things first was at Halloween Horror Nights. It doesn't even matter if the house is good. You got the name on the poster.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. I mean, that... They learned from their mistake last year, and last year it was just a meet and greet, and the demand for it was so high that people were really upset. They were like, we need to do more with this IP. So they definitely did, and it was fabulous.
Oh, okay.
So I think that we should just sort of dive into the event overall, what worked, what didn't work, and then I just go from there.
Yeah, I'm curious because this is it's only its second year. So,
Right.
before you even get into it,
Mhm.
does this seem like this is something that's like finding its footing and it's going to continue on like Halloween Horror Nights forever? Or does this seem like we're like 2 more years away from this fizzling out like the Harry Potter celebration?
So so
That's a loaded
the
question.
it's a loaded question because I will say that the demand for it was significantly higher this year.
Oh,
Um Significantly higher. I mean, last year there was no waits for anything, and it was like a little scary. It was like a little alarming. And this year, it's HHN crowds, literally HHN crowds. I mean, like 60 to 90 to 100-minute waits for things. The people definitely showed up and showed out. So the demand is there. So I could see them doing it, but I will say that it feels like guest satisfaction scores are significantly lower this year than they were last year. So it's kind of this like teetering thing of like, okay, how do we continuously keep tweaking this event? And the one thing that I will give them props to is it does not feel like they spared an expense for this event, which that is my favorite thing about it is it feels like they invested so much money. Me and you, we know things. We know how much signs cost in theme parks. We know how much
right.
sets and costumes and animatronics and puppets. Like we know the price tag for these things. And when you overall look at this event as a whole, it feels like they poured so much money into it, which I really, really do appreciate. I think that where they're falling short right now is just ops. Like the ops
Oh,
are
okay.
so sloppy and messy and just do not work that if we were to tweak that, I feel like guest satisfaction would be higher and therefore it would be a successful
They're
event.
they're clearly thinking of it as a big event that they can Halloween Horror Nights over time and put if they're putting the money into it, then they have some faith in it. Or they knew the ticket sales would be high and they decided to. So, like when you say operations, like is it fixable or is it just the problem of the park or is it like
No.
because it's so new.
It's
And here's what I'm wondering: if all the
mhm,
experiences are so different, Halloween Horror Nights, it's a bunch of houses and scare zones.
right.
You kind of know what you're getting. And if
Right.
this has a completely different type of experience for every property every year, they kind of have to make it up on the fly every year. So are they ever going to find their footing on that?
I mean, I already have a strategy. So I think it's so
Oh,
fixable. Like I've already like I'm like, okay, how could this event have been better? And it's very easy to go to the drawing board and just see what works and what didn't work. And I feel like they did that last year too. They're like, okay, cool, what works and what doesn't work. And they really made changes this year. So I feel like there's definitely some growing pains. And once we get to like year 4, year 5, I genuinely feel like it could be a perfect event because it reaches a larger demographic, which I really do appreciate. You know, Halloween Horror Nights is awesome. I love HHN. Like, it's amazing, but it's not for everyone. And there's something about that that is cool that it's not for everyone. And there's something about that that's like, oh, not cool. Cause like you go and you just see the same demographic. This is so
gotcha.
special because you go and it's like Halloween Horror Nights, but it's for everyone. And it's like,
So are there
yeah,
a lot more kids at this event?
there's a lot more kids. There's a lot more kids,
Okay.
but not to the point where it's, you know, annoying
It's
or
still
intrusive. No.
universal. It's still at
Yeah.
night.
It's still at night and it's really fun because the kids are dressed up in costume. You know, it's so fun to
Aw.
have an event where they encourage you to dress up. They want you to go full out. Like they know that the demographic is people who go to Comic-Con and people who cosplay,
Yeah.
people who
I was
put
going to say
a lot of
nerds, but yes.
effort. You know, yeah, nerds with a lot of money and an incredible creativity, right? Even like in the nerd
Yes.
spectrum, there's so many different types of nerds, and these nerds do not play. These, I mean, and being a drag queen, it's like showing up to an event and seeing people put so much effort into their appearance, their costumes, everything is
In other words, everyone's
handmade.
matching your energy for once.
Thank you. Everyone's matching my energy. No, but really, it's like I feel like I'm trying to match their energy because I mean, everyone just looks so incredible. And the fact that you could have an after hours event where dressing up is encouraged, because for HHN, it's not encouraged. Like they sort of allow it, but you have to go through a whole screening process where they have to like check your makeup and make sure it's like not too scary or make sure that it's like sort of
And I think it's
appropriate.
even
And
more strict here because you can't be confused with scare actors, so they don't allow anything. I think
right.
they started loosening it a year or two ago, so you can do some costumes, but still no masks and very little makeup. And yeah,
Yeah. And I'm sure that they still have some guidelines with FanFest. Like I'm sure they don't want someone like coming in with the ski mask or anything. But the point is that it's so refreshing to have an after hours event that runs like HHN, but dressing up is encouraged. And then it's kind of available to any person of any age and any demographic. So, you know, when you see the kids come in, the parents are dressing the kids up in the IPs. It's,
yeah.
I don't know, there's something so
It's
fun
it's
and
such a
whimsical
wide
about it.
swath of IPs too. It does cover like a wide gambit of. Wait a minute, you were dressed in like a full on Bride of Frankenstein garment.
Yeah. Yes.
Was that your
Yes.
second visit?
Yeah, that was for my second visit. The first
And you had
visit, I was
Stitch's
just
makeup and
yeah.
everything too. You had like a full everything.
Oh yeah, my brows were glued down. I had stitches all over. I was in a big old dress and platform shoes, and it was so much fun to be able to really go out because you know I dress up to the parks like it's not that big of a deal, but there's always that like fine line that I have to teeter on of like, okay, like let's reel it in a little bit over here. But
Are you
it's just
saying,
so
yeah,
fun.
you're holding back when you go to the parks?
Oh, I am definitely holding back.
This isn't a night out on the town, Naynay. This is this is your level of Disney bounding, which is still way beyond most people.
Absolutely. So anyway, it was really fun, and the event as a whole is cool. It's just not quite there yet. It feels like they're throwing things at the wall to see what sticks, which I really do appreciate because it shows a level of risk taking that I love. I love it when a big corporation is going to take mega risks and dump a ton of money and not do it in a cheap way. And right now, all that we're experiencing is them throwing things at the wall and some things not sticking. And I'm really okay with that. In fact, like I really
Yeah.
appreciate them trying to do something that no one else is really doing. And a lot of it doesn't work. It's not working. But at the same time, once again, I'm okay with it. And thank you for throwing things at the wall because I am just like so longing for this Michael Eisner era of F around and find out where we're just like doing the craziest, most outlandish things just to see what sticks. And I feel like when you get really creative and risky in that way in the theme park space, that's when you can really tap into some gold.
So can we go through all the properties? I'm curious to hear what worked and what didn't for you.
Yeah.
Like
so,
what are they all? There's like I know 4 of them, I think, off the top of my head. Maybe 5 because there's Yoshi's.
Yes, so it's One Piece, it's Harry Potter, Sailor Moon, Scooby-Doo, Universal Monsters, Jurassic Park, which cannot be advertised but is there.
It's like
Yoshi's,
but yes.
yes, Yoshi's, and Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not sure.
Dungeons and Dragons.
One.
That's right. I kept seeing that giant is it a puppet? And I was like,
it's a
what is
puppet.
that? Oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. Like they didn't have to go so hard on that, but they did.
They did. So yeah, I think that's everything. Which, here's the thing. I do not have any attachment to any of the IP this year, which is a bummer because last year I had a major attachment to Back to the Future. It's one of my favorite movies ever. So that was something that we lost this year. So my opinions on the event are more so coming from a place of it's like biased but unbiased because I'm looking at the event operationally as a whole and not like having an attachment to the IP and that's like a selling point.
You don't have a fandom with it to the point where it clouds you don't have like beer goggles for fandom to make you think it's better than it is. For me, because it's Jurassic Park mostly, even though it's called Jurassic World Through the Eras, I think I would have enjoyed that, but still it's like just kind of a little walkthrough interactive character meet and greet thing. So but then you look at the Wizarding World stuff and it's like, well, that's impressive. Look at that hippogriff. That's so cool looking. I don't really care about Harry Potter that much, but I can appreciate its awesomeness, I guess. So yeah, I'm right with you. If without Back to the Future, it's hard for me to, like I said, I'm not really jealous this year. And I think it was just that one property holding it up for me last year.
100%. And so now that I feel like we should just get into Scooby-Doo because that was
yes,
actually
please,
no. Let's. So
oh no,
yeah,
I want to hear about Scooby-Doo.
Okay. So just some context. I've been 2 times. The first night that I went was absolutely miserable. And then I sort of learned, I wouldn't say that I made mistakes, but I sort of like learned how they're operating the event. And I went in a second time with a completely different mindset and really got a lot done. So I was significantly happier with my second visit than my first visit. The
that's
first
good
visit,
to hear, because I haven't really talked to you since after your first visit.
Yes. So I definitely feel better about the event. But just some context before we get into Scooby-Doo. It was the Harry Potter experience was the first thing that we did when we came into the park. It was like what we rope dropped. And it was in shambles. We'll get into it later, but I just need you to know that I went into Scooby-Doo after waiting almost 2 hours for a Harry Potter walkthrough of just nonsense and puppets, which it looks cool, but almost 2 hours of a wait when it was posted at like a 40-minute wait time.
Ouch.
Was not the biz. So yeah. So going into Scooby-Doo, I was already a little like, all right, let's see what you got. Because here's the thing about Scooby-Doo and Universal Monsters. Maybe in Orlando, this might be a big deal for Orlando folk. Like, oh my gosh, Scooby-Doo and monsters. Like there's like an overlap happening, which is really cool and unique. For us in Hollywood, it's not unique at all. Scooby-Doo gang and the Universal Monsters have basically the exact same meet and greet location. They're
all roaming.
Day.
Yeah.
They're all roaming. And not only are they all roaming, they're kind of encouraged to interact with each other every single day. So
that's hilarious.
Every single day that I show up to the park, these characters are interacting with each other. So this is not something new. This is not something unique. This is not something special. So going into this event, I'm like, okay, cool. So the collaboration of Scooby-Doo versus Universal Monsters, maybe to the average Joe, that's like cool. To me, that's not cool. I see that every single day. So what else?
But isn't there an interactive mystery element?
Right. Exactly. So now I'm like, okay, let's move the collaboration of the IPs to the side. And now let's look at this. So what's special about this experience? One, there's gameplay, which I'm all about gameplay. I love to play a little game. So there's that aspect, which I'm really intrigued at. And then there's the aspect of just roaming Little Europe where they filmed the original monster movies. So that is really special as well. So we go down to Scooby-Doo and there's switchbacks and switchbacks and switchbacks to board the tram. So great. Another line. That's totally fine. Great. We wait in line. We get on the tram. The tram takes you the long route to get there because they have to set the scene and they do it through various videos while you're on the tram. And they can't drop you off until they really have you understand what we're doing here because it's a really convoluted game. Like there's a lot happening. It's not easy at all. I didn't think that it was easy. Some of my friends thought it was easy. Mm-hmm.
But if you compare that to like Back to the Future last year, it was just a series of story events that would be like, come on, let's go to the dance. And you just follow them to the next scene.
That's it.
So it was
So
pretty straightforward storytelling.
Well, the difference between Back to the Future and Scooby-Doo is Back to the Future, you're kind of going and you're just a spectator and you're watching show scenes of the movie. You're watching reenactments from the movie happen in real time right there. So you're not really involved in the story. You can interact with the characters and it kind of feels like you can like, you're a character in the story, which is fun, but realistically, like they're on a scheduled program and you're just watching them perform.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo, like you literally have to solve a mystery.
It's your adventure.
it's your adventure. You have to solve the mystery. You have things to do. And then there's also show elements within that. So on paper, this is lit. I'm like, okay, like let's go. And we're in Little Europe, like let's rumble. So get on the tram. It takes us a while to get on the tram. Obviously, we have to wait in switchbacks and switchbacks and switchbacks. Once they dump us into Little Europe, it is immediately just a mess. Like we can just see like, oh, this is okay. So there's crowds everywhere and you kind of learn how you play the game and how they have little hubs scattered throughout Little Europe. And you have to go to these hubs where each Scooby Gang character is assigned to a hub. And it's in these hubs that you have to go interact with the characters and solve the mystery and find the clues.
So like a video game, you're just going from person to person and gathering more information.
Exactly. And then they give you a
stay
pamphlet.
put?
They stay put. So Scooby Gang stays put. Universal Monsters roam. That's kind of how it works. So you're given a pamphlet, and in the pamphlet, it kind of goes through each one of the stations and what clues you're needing to look for at each station. Each Scooby character is assigned to a station, and then the Universal Monsters are just free roaming, and they have their own little show moments that happen as well, but they're just free roaming. So when we get there, each hub has layers and layers and layers and layers of people. Like you cannot even get to the front to even see the hub to be able to solve the mystery. It's just absolutely impossible. It became very apparent very early on that we're not participating in the game. Like the game is not, it is absolutely not going to happen. It is not happening. So we sort of look around and we're like, okay, what else is there to this portion of the event? And what you do is you have to solve the mystery, and then you can walk around Little Europe and meet the Universal Monsters. There's a little snack stand which had like a 3-mile long line, so we were like, okay, that's not happening either. And then at the very end,
is that where they sold the giant sandwich in a bag?
Yes, that is where they. I didn't try that. I did try the Scooby snacks eventually, and the Scooby snacks were. I loved them. I thought that they were great. They're like
they
huge,
should sell those year
came in a cute
round.
box.
That's actually a clever idea.
Yeah. So as far as this portion of the event goes, you have to be solving a mystery, and if you're not doing that, then you're just free roaming. And then there is a finale moment. So when you're kind of done with the experience,
like Galactic Star Cruiser over here.
100%. You get to a point of Little Europe where they basically say once you pass this point, it's a point of no return. You cannot come back into the event. So once you pass this, that basically means that
story.
You're concluding your story. You pass that team member, and you basically have a choose your own path. You can go on the left side where they just get you on a tram and you skip the finale and they just get you up to the upper lot. Or you can go to the right side and you can watch the final show moment. So we were like, okay, we know that that's there. Let's just see what we can do down here, and then we'll see how we want to go about it. Gameplay, absolutely impossible. Okay, let's go try a snack. Absolutely impossible. Okay, let's go and meet the Universal Monsters. Kind of impossible. They're free roaming, and it feels like there's crowds and crowds and crowds around them, and you can't really even get to them. All right, so now let's just enjoy our time in Little Europe. Screw Scooby-Doo. Screw Universal Monsters. Screw FanFest. Like, let's just take this as an opportunity
You're
to
on a
giggle
walking
and
tour
frolic
of a backlot stage area
of a part of the backlot that we normally can't walk around.
Right.
And so we did that. We did that for about 10 minutes, and we're like, all right, we walked around. That's that on that. So now let's go and do this show moment, and let's go back to the upper lot. Mind you, we've already waited in a full queue to get down here, and we have not been able to get our bang for our buck. Like, we have not done the experience. And then when we go to the point of no return, and we see, like, if you choose the right side and you want to see the show moment, we see that there's switchbacks and switchbacks and switchbacks to see the final show moment. We're not even interacting with the gameplay anymore. It's just to like literally see a little show moment, and they're like, you have to wait in another line. At this point, we were like, what is the point? Like, literally, what's the point? I'm not doing this. I waited 2 hours for Harry Potter. I waited 30 minutes to get down here. I didn't get to play the game. I didn't get to try any snacks. I didn't even get to see the Universal Monsters. And now to see this final show moment, they're making me wait in like 4 switchbacks. We were done.
So you left that area.
We left.
When you went back a second time, did you see the finale moment?
When we went back the second time, we did everything. We played the game.
The mystery.
We played the mystery. We solved the mystery. We met every member of the Scooby Gang. I
saw your pictures of the monsters, which was like you and Monster and Frankenstein's monster look like husband and wife. It was amazing because you were he was bride of Frankenstein.
It was fabulous. He was being like so cute and romantic and holding my hand, and it was amazing.
Right.
And so the second time we came back, so that was obviously extremely disappointing. When we came back the second time, we were like, okay, we're doing Scooby-Doo first. Like, we want to be the first people down there. We want to be on the first tram, meaning when it dumps us in Little Europe.
You're the first ones blocking the path for the other people behind you. You're the ones playing the game.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And so that's what happened. and we did the gameplay, and it was so much fun. It was awesome.
Oh.
It was just challenging enough where I was like, wait, this is actually kind of hard. It did take us about an hour. We spent an hour and a half doing the Scooby-Doo experience. And yeah, so we were down there for about an hour and a half, and it took us about 45 minutes to an hour to solve the mystery, which I will say, maybe it wouldn't take other people that long, but we were like taking our time, meeting the characters, interacting. Like we weren't just there to solve the mystery. We were like meeting and greeting every character and having full-blown conversations with them.
A good, well, like created game and concept, unfortunately just not scalable to the amount of people that want to go do it.
Exactly. And so we're now like towards the end of our experience, that's when everyone is down there and it just feels miserable. And I could just see it feeling miserable to everyone else, but not being miserable for me because we got to participate. And now it's like once it gets crowded, it's game over. It's not
How was the finale?
Awesome. I loved it. It was so cool, so fun, so dynamic in a really fun way where like the Scooby Gang there is all there in person, and then they run off stage and then they're like running around, but they're on screens. So it kind of is like, oh, they're there, but they're on screens. Anyway, I loved it. The only note that I have is Back to the Future had pyro for their finale show moment.
Yeah.
And so I was definitely wanting to see some pyro. And then another thing, and this is the most stupidest complaint ever. And I know that it has to look like this. It has to look like this for operations. But I didn't love the fact that they had 3 sets of characters. So like
I was going to ask if there's a finale team, there's got to be the position team. Who's the third set for?
The third set is the people in their like hubs, like in Little Europe. They rotate. So there's 2 sets of characters for that. And then there's a third set of characters for the show moment. So in an hour, you are seeing 3 different Daphnes. You are seeing 3 different Velmas. And they like, listen, I love casting and like they're trying their best, but let's be real, they don't look like each other at all. So that was just like one thing where I was like, oh, like, I don't know how I feel about like seeing 3 sets of the same character.
I'm watching Born Stuntacular and there's a second Born for the helicopter moment. And I'm like, that's a different guy. That's a different guy.
It just felt a little weird because you are interacting and talking to them and they're very much a part of the story.
I'm glad you went back.
It was so you know, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is not sustainable. And I would not like to see it return next year. I do not want to I don't want them to go back to the drawing board and tweak the gameplay and bring it back better than ever. I want something new. That was kind of not my favorite. I did have fun. I don't want to do that again. I want Back to the Future. And if it's not Back to the Future, that's totally fine. Give me something completely new. I don't need to do Universal Monsters and Scooby-Doo next year again. I don't need to do it.
It feels like the storytelling elements of the Back to the Future, the way that they did it and the space that it took up feels more scalable to crowds.
100%.
Because even if you're not able to talk to a character, at least you get to see the scenes as they happen and just go from scene to scene. It's still a very immersive experience, but without feeling like you're missing out.
Exactly. And Back to the Future, like some nights last year were really busy, and even in its most crowded, busiest time, it still worked. It worked, and it was really fun to be down there. And what's it called? Like that section of Courthouse Square is huge compared to Little Europe. So it just like, this does not work. That did work. Okay, you can't do that because of production. Completely understand. That also doesn't mean for you to bring this experience back again, Scooby-Doo experience. Like, give us like let's throw something else at the wall and see what else sticks, because I don't want to do this again.
What other properties were there? And did like Sailor Moon? I keep forgetting it even existed. Is that just like the meet and greet this year, like One Piece was last year?
It's a meet and greet and a show inside our Kung Fu Panda Theater, which the show was fabulous. It feels like it's a show. It's a 3D show from Universal Studios Japan that they brought over. I don't know why. It was my favorite thing of the entire event. I loved it so much. And I'm not a Sailor Moon fan. I don't know much about her. I just look at her aesthetically and I'm like, that feels very correct. That feels very Naynay coded. And I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was so much fun. The meet and greet is really cool. Next up, we saw the One Piece Waterworld show, which I thought was so fun and so cool and so well done. And it really felt like the fans loved it. I didn't understand what was going on at all, but I was having
but it's
the
still
time
a,
of my
a
life.
decent show. Okay.
Right. Because that's the whole point.
I
like
think
in a
they've
theme
done
park
that
setting,
a few years in Universal Studios Japan, haven't they? It's a
I'm
special
not
event
sure.
thing. Well, it's definitely something they stole, just like Sailor Moon. So it's already pre-cooked, so it's good.
Totally. Exactly. And I think that when you're making something that is so specific in the theme park space, like with a very specific IP, you got to do something where you make it for everyone, right? Like, okay, is the person who knows nothing about this IP gonna love it? And I did. It was so fun. I loved it.
That's good. I mean, that's if you're gonna be like a Halloween Horror Nights, I put so much like 10 haunted houses, each one themed to like a full-on movie, is such a high quality bar that when I look at and compare it to like some of the Disney events, I'm like, you can do a Hocus Pocus like castle show or whatever, but at the same time, you're still not you're not reaching the levels of making it worth my ticket price that Halloween Horror Nights provides. So at least this is a good show. Like it fills a theater and you see like actors and stunts and things. And like, okay, that feels like it's worth the money then.
Yes. So the next thing I want to get into is Harry Potter, because this was also another thing that did not work.
Is it just a walkthrough?
No, it is. Once again, I really appreciate them for throwing something at the wall and seeing if it sticks. And it is very different. It's cool, but at the end of the day, it does not work. So what the experience is it's a guided walkthrough, which basically means that they have, it's almost like a maze experience, an outdoor maze experience with 4 or 5 different show scenes. And it's a show though, so it's guided. So you have a storyteller that's assigned to your group. They give you like a group of 10 people, and then each show scene is timed. It's like literally on a timer of maybe like 1 minute or 2 minutes. And then you do a show scene, and then your guide walks you to the next scene, and you can see the next scene, and that group has their own guide, and they're bumping you from scene to scene to scene. So you're just rotating through the experience.
We had a local traveling dragon show come to our park, a local park over here, and it was the same thing where they have like these hired theater kids, and they do this like whole spiel and take you from scene to scene, and the dragon people have to keep doing the exact same scene over and over and over again, as their tour guides bring them through. And it's like, this is a great use of high school theater kids.
So on paper, it's cool, but operations does not work, because this is all done and set up in the extended forest queue for Forbidden Journey. There is not a ton of space here, and each one of these show scenes, these show moments that happen, it's tiny, right? They need to fit these sets and whatever they want to fit there as far as theming goes. They have to fit that in there.
Like and then the front half of a centaur.
Exactly. And then you have to funnel people in. And remember, it's not like an HHN maze where you're walking in like single file. You're in clusters of groups. And so there needs to be like enough space for the group to cluster around so that you can all see the show moment that's happening. So each show moment felt like a little too long. Like it felt like it could have been, it felt like each thing should have been maybe like 45 seconds just to keep the line moving. But it felt like it was like a minute or two. And then you can't put a ton of people per group. You can only funnel like 10 to 15 people at once. Okay. And then, which already you're experiencing extremely low capacity for this very inefficient experience. And then you add Express.
Oh no.
This is not something that Express should be offered at, because the capacity is so low and it moves so inefficiently that I imagine the
demand is high.
And the demand is so high because it's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So the line does not move. And
this
they
should
don't
have been
even
in a
know.
soundstage. This should be like a full-on maze. This needs to be a bigger thing.
So the operation doesn't make sense. Like if you got to treat it like a Halloween Horror Nights house. If you're going to have Express and it's going to be like really tight spaces, then it needs to be single file and it needs to be continuously moving. You can't do this show moment situation and also offer Express with an IP that is so popular. So the line Alicia, does not move, and they don't know how to time the line. So, you would walk in and they're like, looks like it's going to be 40 minutes. And you're like, okay. And it was an hour and 40 minutes. An
Oh
hour
my
and 40 minutes.
God.
I timed it. It was an hour and 40 minutes. And then the line just doesn't move. And you're like, what the hell gives? Like, why does the line not move? And then you get to the front where you can kind of see how they're pumping people
It's the
through.
Express.
It's Express that's killing them.
There's
Express
only enough
is
capacity
fully
for
loaded.
Express.
Exactly. And so they're keeping Express moving, and the standby line is just standing there still. And so when you're having me wait an hour and 40 minutes, you better knock my socks off. You better blow me away for keeping me there for an hour and 40 minutes of not moving. And I feel like they shot themselves in the foot, because their experience was cool, and it was, they did invest some money in, and it was like there was a theming and story element that I really did enjoy. It was really well thought out. It was not lazy at all. But because
Was there
the
any
operations,
sound bleed? Because there's like such a small
much sound
space.
bleed. So much
Okay.
sound bleed. But it's okay.
Yeah, that's
it's
another
okay.
another benefit of doing it like in a soundstage. You can actually put walls.
Right. Yeah. So, but the point is that the operations were so messed up that it really set them up for failure, because we're all walking into the experience really upset and pissed off. I mean, everyone in line with me, they're just like, this is not what we signed up for. Like,
Right.
the event is only a couple hours. We've paid this much to get in, and you said it was going to be 40 minutes, and it's an hour and 40 minutes. If they say it's 40 minutes and you wait 60, okay, whatever. Like, it's fine. But a whole hour on top of the wait time is absolutely insane.
I did Halloween Horror Nights in the 90s in Orlando, like when it was first starting out. Back then there would be 3 haunted houses, and one was in like the Bates Motel shell, and it would like go into a tent, and it was so makeshift. Like one was in an alley, in Sting Alley, in the like hollowed out storage buildings, and they didn't know how to do the wait times. They would say like, oh, it's like 45 minutes, and it would actually be 2 hours. And this sounds exactly like that. And I tell you what happens by next year. They're not pulsing the line anymore. It's all a conga line. By next year, there's 5 houses instead of 3 houses. Like, this is such a growing pains type story that you're telling me.
100%.
That I'm like having deja vu to waiting. I'm like, how do you have 3 haunted houses at Halloween Horror Nights, and I only had enough time to do 2 and didn't go and do the Bill and Ted show that year? Like, how is the operations that bad? And it's because they were pulsing people. It was because they were trying to like create this perfect show for just 5 people, and it just doesn't work. So you end up with the conga line.
And that's why I was saying earlier, like, it feels like it's a good event. It just needs more baking time. I feel like in about 3 more years or 4 more years, it's going to be perfect.
It just needs to be scaled up. It's like these are really good intimate experiences that they've created, but they're at theme park levels of people and crowds. You have to accommodate.
Yeah. So that was Harry Potter. Did not love that. I thought it was well done, but I would not wait more than 15 to 20 minutes for what was offered. And then, you go downstairs and you have the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Through the Eras experience, which is, once again, it's cool. It's just like not enough. I'm just like, okay, is this
like for the 25th, 35th? Oh God, how long has it been? One of the anniversaries for Jurassic Park, you had something like this at Universal Studios, like Hollywood anyway. Like you've had like, here's the cars, here's the characters, here's the dinosaur statues.
Right.
Like it feels like this is something you might get randomly during the day on an anniversary year for the event, like for the movie. So yeah, I can see it being not that special. Like, oh, here's the same, Raptors we have for our meet and greet every single day. It's not, I can see how that not, like Dennis Nedry is probably the only thing that I would be like, oh, look, there's Hammond and Nedry and Ian Malcolm. That's pretty cool. At least that's different.
Yeah. And so, but here's the thing. I'm not upset at it at all, because it felt like an add-on, because it's not advertised as part of the event.
Right.
So
it's like a bonus.
It's a bonus, right? It's not like you're like, we're going to have this huge Jurassic Park experience, like pay money to come and see it. And then you get it and it's all lackluster and just a bunch of photo ops. It's like, no, like it wasn't advertised. I didn't even know it was really happening. A lot of people didn't know it was happening. So you go down there and it's like, oh, what a cute, like little bonus area. How sweet and lovely. And so no issue with it. It's just not giving anything really. So, yeah.
But at least you didn't have to wait in an hour and 40-minute line.
Exactly. But also I do feel like with our limited space, with our, crazy capacity, I do think that that space should be utilized for an experience that can be put on the main marquee because it takes up a huge amount of space and it's
Oh, was it
prime real
really?
estate. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a
I didn't know it was
huge plot
big.
of land. Oh no, it's
Oh,
big. And it's that new plot of land that they carved out recently for last year's HHN. Like they put a
yeah.
whole house over here last year. So
Okay.
it's a significant amount of space that I feel like we could use that space to add an actual headlining experience. Another one of those things where it was cute, it was cool, don't really have issues with it, but there's not that much to do for this event, and this is taking up real estate and it's not giving much. So I don't want to see that again next year. I want it
What
to be
was
utilized for something different.
what was the Yoshis? Were they just dancing and meeting people? People? Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a scavenger. There's a scavenger
Oh,
hunt, which I'm not mad at it at all. There's a scavenger hunt to
oh,
find a bunch of eggs. And then last year, they kept the Yoshis as a prize. Like you could not meet them, they were not roaming, and you had to
right.
finish the game. And as your prize for winning the game, you got a final sticker and then you got to meet the Yoshis, which I thought was really fun. This year, they added way more Yoshis. And so now the Yoshis are just kind of roaming. And then they put Mario and Green Yoshi behind that. I don't want to call it a paywall because it's not a paywall. You don't have to pay. But like,
But
that
you have
like,
it's a time wall.
it's a
You
time
have
wall.
to do the task.
It's an achievement wall. So when you accomplish your achievement, you get to meet Mario and Green Yoshi. And then the colorful Yoshis are just like rotating throughout the night and
So
dancing
they're
and
hanging
giggling.
out separately, but then they coalesce and come together and do their little singy dance, and then they go back to roaming.
So to my knowledge, it was like they only have like two or three of them out at a time. And then
Ah.
they rotate. So when it's time for them to rotate and swap out, that's when they do a
Oh,
show
it's
moment.
the
And then
changeover. Okay.
it's the changeover. And then the old Yoshis go back and take a break. And then the new Yoshis come and hang out.
That's
So
really cute.
I like that. I mean, I have no, like, I think that for Super Nintendo World being so tight in Hollywood and such limited space,
Are the
they
rides
really
open during this?
maximize.
Is like
Yes.
Mario Kart open? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
To
worth
my
it
knowledge, it
to put
was.
something in there so it draws people into that area.
Yeah, Toadstool Cafe is open.
Oh,
Everything is
nice.
open, and yeah, and then there's a level of gameplay to it. But then also, if you don't want to play the game, you can still meet the Yoshis.
Does that
So
mean like when the park closes, they have to go out and like put a bunch of giant Yoshi eggs in the land?
okay, so I didn't. That's what they were doing last year. They did that last
Yeah.
year. I saw them doing that last year. I don't know how it worked this year because this year I walked into Super Nintendo World, I saw the new colored Yoshis, and I walked right out. So I
Oh,
just
okay.
I had already done the full experience last year. I met the
Yeah,
pink
yeah, yeah.
Yoshi. I did the whole game. I did the scavenger hunt, and I didn't feel like I needed to do that this year. So I'm not sure how it's working in that way, but that's pretty much what it
What
looks like.
what's left? Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons, which is such a cool experience. Also, know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't care. There's something in it for everyone, and even if you don't know what's going on and you enjoy themed environments and storytelling and puppets, I'm a huge puppet guy. I love puppets. It is really cool. The costumes are really cool. It just feels so high budget. It feels so expensive, and I love when things feel expensive. My biggest issue
Like
is
the
when theme
costumes
parks,
alone too.
costumes, makeup, it feels like they have a team of people having to put on like HHN level stuff, like
Right, right.
prosthetics and all kinds of crazy stuff. Even the centaur in the Harry Potter walkthrough was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. So yeah, don't know anything about the IP, but still really awesome. And I
How
feel
did
like that
operations work for this one?
amazing. I don't like it was amazing. It's the same thing of like it's the same thing of Harry Potter where it's like a guided show that goes through room to room to room, but
Yeah.
each room is so big that they could
Oh.
pump people in. They can
How big were the
literally
groups
like
then?
oh god, I could not even give you a number. It felt like at least like 60 something people
Oh my God. Where
per
was this taking place? Was this in a
and
soundstage or something?
yes, it is. It's in a soundstage on the
Well, okay,
lower
so
lot.
the thing that I said they should have done for Potter, they did do for this, and it did work. So it's a proof of concept. It can be done.
It can be done. It's just, yeah, like for Potter, they did it in a queue and there's not enough space. Therefore, not enough space. You can only funnel a couple people in at a time. And then you add Express to that. And it's just awful.
Ugh.
But
I
yeah.
wonder if that's just like trying to put the property next to the actual like ride, and it kind of screwed them. Whereas
Yeah.
this one didn't have to be next to it.
And also, the really cool thing about it is they use the Forbidden Journey queue as the queue for the Harry Potter walkthrough. But the really fun thing is it's the Harry Potter queue in reverse.
Oh.
So you're walking through the entire thing backwards.
So you're like leaving the castle to go to the forest?
Exactly. It starts in the castle and then you come outside to the greenhouse. So you walk through the entire castle and then you come outside to the greenhouse, and then after the greenhouse, it transitions into the forest. So I really loved that.
Oh, see, I see the vision there. It just doesn't have the space.
It just doesn't have the space. And I do think, you know, like sometimes when there's a really hot attraction and they're just like, okay, no Express for this. I really think that if they removed Express for this experience, it would be much better, but they just don't have enough going on in their event to take Express away from a headlining attraction. Therefore, it's like, then it devalues the Express
I didn't
pass.
even know this thing had Express. It's kind of bonkers.
It has Express.
So my question to you, having done this now 2 years in a row and multiple times per year, if next year has even less properties that you care about, is this still a must-do event that you will go to anyway?
I asked myself the same question the other day. I think that if the event does not really change, I will not be back. And that's not to say that it was a bad event. It's just I saw it and I'm just like, okay. Now, I will say that the pricing this year was cheaper than last year.
Really? Like it looks like they spent more money and they charged less for entry?
Yeah, well, I don't know if they spent more money because it felt like they spent way more money on Back to the Future than Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo did not feel like more of an expensive experience.
Yeah, but you got a stunt show going on. You got all this like costumes and makeup, and this puppets alone. Those puppets, both Harry Potter and Dungeons and Dragons, are so impressive. They did not scrimp on this event.
And the tickets were cheaper. So they had this special platinum pass holder deal where last year they basically said, if you come into the park and you want to stay for FanFest, pay $50 and we'll just let you stay. Awesome. This year they did the exact same thing, but they said, pay $40 and we'll let you stay. So I was like, okay, $10 less. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry, like for something like this, $40 is kind of nothing. So next year, I'll
Isn't
just have
that
to
the price
see.
of one hot dog?
No, literally. Literally.
They had a hot dog there for $40, right?
I don't know how much it was, but it's craziness. So next year, if the experience looks basically the same and it's $40, I probably won't be inclined to go.
Do you mean like the same IPs or do you mean like the same operations?
Same IPs. Like I don't.
Yeah, let's say it's all different IPs, but they're all ones you don't care about. You still have to go see it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, that's all I want to know. That's all I want to know.
Absolutely. I don't, because I'm a fan of like theme park theming and creativity and just seeing
the artistry going into it trumps your hatred of operations.
Absolutely, and my lack of loving the IPs. I mean, and also I don't know. I hate to be kumbaya here, but even though I don't like something, if I go to something and I see like a bunch of people are like having like they have this crazy connection to the IP and it like their life is transforming in front of my eyes, that is so beautiful and entertaining for me to watch that I almost like want to go back and see the One Piece show just to watch the fans react to it, because you could just tell how much it meant to them, and that makes me feel I don't know, warm and fuzzy inside. I like it.
I know that feeling. This is only 12 nights this year. How many was it last year?
I don't know, but I don't think it needs to be more than 12 nights.
It's just wild to me that they spend so much like creativity and money and time and effort to create these experiences, and then it's just 12 nights.
Yeah.
Well, practicing, training, rehearsing, all the actors, learning your lines. It's just so much for such a short event.
It is. It's a lot. And I really do, like, my final thing is I really do appreciate Universal for doing something like this. It feels I don't know, just fresh and new. And it's really scary for a theme park of that scale to bring a new idea because you just don't know how it's going to land. You don't really know how to market it. It's territory that they've never been in before. And in 2026, I feel like the main issue that we have with these mega theme park corporations is no one's taking risks. And so there's also a part of me that just wants to give them money just for doing the hard thing. You know what I mean? I want to support
I feel
that.
like they're
Like
still
that is
at a
something that I want to
stage.
support.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they're still at a stage where it is like early Halloween Horror Nights in the 90s where it's make it or break it what IPs they represent and whether or not they get people through the door. But come 5, 6, 7 years down the line, they'll have enough fans that appreciate the artistry enough that they'll go every year regardless of the IP, and they're just building up to that. And when that happens, then maybe we'll get it here in Orlando the way that you all stole Halloween Horror Nights from us. Because we'll do all the you guys do all the R&D on what the event could be and how it could operate, and then by the time it's running smoothly enough year to year and it's like running for 30 days instead of 12, then you ship off a copy of it to us and we'll perfect it like we always do.
Honestly, I'm like, I fear for the day where you guys get a fan fest because I know you guys are going to annihilate.
Like you guys just are going wait, to... you'll see.
Oh yeah, I mean, I will definitely fly out for that.
But yeah, I'm actually excited. I was a little like you went the first night and told me about it, and I was a little bummed. I was like, oh no, is this going to be the last FanFest nights they ever do? But hearing about your second visit being a little bit better, if they could get the lines down, hopefully this keeps going.
Yeah, and I think they can do it. And, I think that the one thing about them is it does feel like they're really paying attention because even the event this year compared to last year, there were so many changes, with like them incorporating One Piece more or just like anime IP more. They're like listening to the fans. They want this to be successful. So I appreciate that.
I'm excited for the future of it. And who knows, maybe next year they'll put Jurassic World on the sign. Thanks, y'all, for listening. Leave a comment down below with what you thought of this year's FanFest nights, if you've listened this long. And go subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a separate YouTube channel just for ParkTalk with Alicia and Naynay. Go subscribe to it. Link down in the doobly-doo.
Doobly-doo. Goodbye.
Bye.